Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about how I stay consistent with my weight loss and wellness journey even when I don't feel like it. If you're new to the channel, you guys, I have lost over 100 pounds naturally, no Ozempics, no gastric bypass, any of those things. And it was a journey. It took me 18 months to lose the original 100 pounds, and then I just recently lost another 20 pounds over the past 2 months. And you guys, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of times where I don't feel like working out. Yes, y'all know I love to weight lift. That's my thing. It's my therapy. It's great. But believe it or not, I have a lot of days where I don't feel like going to the gym. I also have a lot of days where I want to unleash the inner fat girl within my spirit and still pig out on Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And, I want to still do those things. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. But I would say that my discipline has it's grown, okay? And my hope is that by the end of this video, I can change your perspective on things when it comes to you trying to stay consistent on your weight loss journey. I will never forget how I used to feel in my old body. Not only was I insecure, but just like the way my body felt, like always being tired, my knees always hurt. I had two knee surgeries playing basketball years and years and years ago, and I would still get aching in my left knee all of the time. And this was before I was even exercising. So it was just kind of like, why is my knee hurting and I barely move? And that was the problem. I barely moved. And so that's why I always had aching in my knees. I always used to have lower back pain. I used to be out of breath doing the simplest things. I used to always be sweating. And yes, I do have a thyroid problem. It is under control right now. I am on pills. But back then I was not. But it was also because I was just extremely overweight. And I'll never forget how that felt. I'll never forget the way my body felt carrying all that weight every single day. And because I always hold on to that, I never will forget. It's so much easier for me to stay consistent now because I know and I can tell how amazing I am. I feel so much more amazing now. You guys, I know sometimes it's hard to fathom, especially if you've been overweight your whole life, like how I pretty much was. But living a healthy lifestyle is so much more rewarding. I can't make this up. Not only do you feel better about your body, you feel better in your clothes and how things fit you, but you feel better mentally. You also feel better physically. Mentally, I don't think there's anything that I can't do in life. I used to always have limiting beliefs on myself. I used to say, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. That's not going to work for me. Losing over 100 pounds is hard, right? Even if you lose 20 pounds, that's hard. It still requires you to change things about yourself in order to get that weight off and keep it off. And because I went through that journey, because I sacrificed, I built discipline, I held myself accountable, I feel totally different. And I don't think I would have felt this way about myself today if I didn't go through that journey in the past. And because I've come so far, that keeps me grounded in my wellness. That keeps me grounded. That keeps me consistent with working out. That keeps me consistent with eating clean. That keeps me consistent with moving my body. And also, too, something else that has helped is the fact that I make content on wellness. Because if I do fall off, I only have but so much content that I can repost before I have to make new stuff. And when I was losing the 20 pounds that I've lost these past 2 months, I was actually reposting content because I didn't want anyone to see that I was losing weight, right? I do go live, so you could probably tell in my face if you join my lives, but like as far as weight loss content, I was literally just reposting stuff for 2 months because I had so much content, and I didn't want to start showing the results of these 20 pounds that I've lost so far because I wanted it to be a surprise. I just wanted to, just kind of lock in. I didn't want to let anyone know what I was doing behind the scenes. I just kind of wanted to focus on myself, as that's what I did. And I started posting these 20 pounds that I've lost so far. And I feel great. People can tell, I can tell, I just look more lean. And those feelings that you get when you drop more weight, when you stay consistent, when you change something up. I had plateaued, so I had stayed stagnant at 100-pound weight loss for probably about a year. And that's my fault too, right? I kind of fell off a little bit, but I was still able to maintain. My thing is, as long as I don't gain, then I will never beat myself up for it because it's so hard for people to lose weight and keep it off. So the fact that I was able to keep it off, even though I still had more weight to lose, I'm still proud of myself for being able to maintain that. Um, those feelings that you get of feeling proud of yourself, building confidence that you didn't necessarily have before, that's what keeps me consistent. I can't make this up. And then making content. I tell you guys all the time, if you're on a weight loss journey, like, you should record your journey. You should record it. Even if you don't want to quit your job and make this a full-time thing, you might, but even if you don't, just recording your journey and seeing the transformation in your videos and your pictures, I'm telling you, that really keeps you consistent. I always scroll through my phone. I have this one right here with all my content. I literally scroll through this phone, like if I'm sitting on the couch, just kind of like in a bad funk or whatever, and I'll just scroll through and I'll look at videos from when I first started my weight loss journey years ago. Even on my Instagram, I'll scroll through to when I first started posting weight loss content, and I'm like, wow, wow. Wow. And by always having that content to look at, it keeps me going, even if I don't feel like it. I think a lot of times too, people think that you have to be motivated in order to lose weight, and motivation is great. It's what keeps you, it's what gets you started, but that's not what keeps you going. What keeps you going is discipline, and the only way you're going to develop that is by keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So even if you don't feel like working out, still work out. Even if you don't feel like eating healthy, still eat healthy. And I tell you guys all the time, weight loss was by far the hardest thing I ever did in my entire life. And I've done a lot of hard things, okay? I have a lot of things that I'm proud of myself for, but weight loss will always be first place because it requires you to make the right decision every day in some way, shape, or form. Like, every day, even if I don't necessarily go to the gym and lift, I still have to make the decision to drink water. I still have to make the decision to eat something healthy. I still have to make the decision to go outside and walk. Like, I still have to make some type of good decision, right? I can't just let it all go to shit. Excuse my French. So that's why I say weight loss is by far the hardest thing, because you have to eat multiple times a day. You're drinking throughout the day. You could easily slip back into your old ways and grab a soda or grab some Chick-fil-A. Well, I'm vegan, but I could still grab French fries. So to have to constantly make the right decision most of the time, that's why it makes weight loss so hard. And most people don't lose weight. The odds are against you, I'm not going to lie. Most people, and then also too, most people gain their weight back within the first 5 years of losing weight. So the fact that, if let's say you have lost weight and you were able to maintain that weight loss, you're already doing better than most people in America. So give yourself a pat on the back. That's why I said, even though I plateaued this past year, in my weight loss journey, I still didn't beat myself up for it because I didn't gain weight, and the odds are against me. You know, studies say that I'm going to gain it back, and I haven't. So I think all of that is what just helps me stay consistent and keep on pushing. And I want that for you too. So record some content, even if you don't necessarily want to post it, keep it for your own files, you know, so you can always have stuff to look back on. I want you guys too to understand it's a lifestyle. I never looked at weight loss that way. I was always looking at it as, okay, I just need to lose 30 pounds for this event or do this, and then I'm back to how I used to be. And because I always had that mindset with weight loss, I was never able to keep it off. But this time around, I decided, okay, I want to be healthy. Like, I want to be one of those girlies that's in Whole Foods, like just being cute and skinny. Like, that's what I want. So I don't want it to be a little fad. I don't want to do water fasts and like, I don't want to do stuff like that. I don't want to be freaking out because I got vacation in 2 weeks and I got to lose 50 pounds so I can look good in my swimsuit. I don't want to live like that anymore. Like, I just want to always be slim. I just want to always be healthy. I just want it to be my lifestyle. And because that's the mindset I adapted, it's really become a part of my lifestyle. I don't go days and days and days without going to the gym. I have gone a couple of days without going to the gym, but I still get up. I still go outside and walk or something. I didn't used to do that before. Like, I used to never exercise. I would go weeks. The most exercise I would do was going up a flight of stairs or walking in the parking lot to get to the store. I never used to move my body at all, and I always used to eat crappy. which is why I always felt crappy. So, just noticing those changes in my life has allowed me to stay consistent even when I don't feel like it. So I hope these tips help. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, how do you stay consistent on your weight loss journey and your fitness journey? What things have you started implementing? What things do you want to implement? I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.